Good evening. 205 people are being made redundant in a deal with the unions at the Cadbury factory in Bournville in Birmingham. The owner, Mondelez International, has 15 factories across Europe and says the Birmingham site is one of the least efficient.
It's spending £75 million to modernise so it can compete against the other European factories to win chocolate-making contracts. But in return, there'll be more flexible working and 205 staff are taking voluntary redundancy. Our business correspondent, Mark Goff, reports.
They call it the nation's favourite. Cadbury's dairy milk is just one of the lines made at the Bournville factory in Birmingham, along with a few other household names. But the production lines they're made on are old.
And here it is, as we shall meet it in the grocer's shop.
Admittedly not quite as old as these on this Cadbury archive film, but so old that the Bournville factory was inefficient and isn't cost effective. Mondelez International, the owners of Cadbury, have 15 plants around Europe where they can choose to make any chocolate. A factory which costs too much wouldn't be the first choice. So they agreed to spend £75 million modernising the Bournville plant. In return, staff have to be more flexible, and jobs had to go.
If we hadn't put this agreement in place, this site may have withered on the vine. Which is, unbearable to think of for this region. There's 15 sites within the European chocolate manufacturer, and Cadbury was well down the league. This will put us up to about 4th or 5th position, which will enable us to compete efficiently and effectively on a level playing field with the other chocolate manufacturing sites in Europe.
205 people are going. They're all voluntary redundancies, with an average payoff of £100,000. It'll still leave about 800 people making chocolate. The same number again in the rest of the operation.
Well, what this does mean is that it secures the next generation of manufacturing here in Bournville. And that really has to be great news for everyone, not just the people who work here, but also the region itself. From the beginning, we were very clear that to secure this £75 million investment in Bournville, that this site would need to become more cost competitive. Both sides agreed that this would mean that there will be fewer people working here in Bournville in the future. But our preference was always to secure that through voluntary redundancies, if at all possible.
So for how many more years will chocolate be made at Bournville?
Well, up to 25 years, I'd say, and then there's, if we prosper and develop from there on, bringing new products even longer, I'd say.
The union says alongside famous Cadbury names, the Bournville factory will now be making Milka and Toblerone, also owned by Mondelez.
From our point of view, this is a chocolate manufacturing site, and we'll probably make the Milka and Toblerone better and have it tasting better than what it is currently.
So for now and for the foreseeable future, both management and the union agreed that the prospects for the Cadbury factory appear to be rosy. Mark Goff, ITV News, Bournville.